This happened to me about 6 months ago while my family was gone for 2 days on a mini vacation. I was psyched to have the house all to myself as I could do what I wanted. On the first night, I was half asleep, laying in my bed, naked and comfy as hell. The door to my room was wide open because, well, why not? No one was home. It didn't matter if I let it all hang out. I was feeling incredibly relaxed. As I'm laying there, I see a flash of light from the doorway. When I look over, I see a man standing there looking in. I can't make out any of his features. It's too dark, but there is definitely someone standing there. I froze with fear, staring at him, waiting to see what he was going to do. I didn't even hear anyone come in the house, let alone any footsteps down my hallway. My heart was pounding, and it took me several seconds to process what was going on. It seems the man noticed me, and he swiftly turned around and began to run off. I leapt out of bed and grabbed a broom. I know, but it was all I had in the moment. I heard the back door open, and by the time I got there, I could see the back gate was wide open. I ran out to the alleyway behind our house, but there was no sign of the guy. I have no clue what he wanted, but I sure am glad seeing me butt-ass naked scared him off. It was the summer of 2009, and I was about 19 or 20 at the time. My friend's parents were going on vacation for a month and were looking for a house sitter. I jumped at the opportunity. They live in what I would consider a mansion. It was massive. Half of the home has the kitchen, dining, guest room, massive living room, and pretty much everything I would need. The other half of the house has the master bedroom and an office, all of which was off limits to me. His parents make it very clear to not go to the other half. It was odd because I'm watching the home, but whatever. If that's what they want. I had no reason to go over there anyway. I would be staying in one of the guest rooms, and honestly, all I really did was play a ton of video games the entire time. Part of my house-sitting duties is letting in the gardeners and others to tend to the home. They have a huge gate to their home, and it makes this annoying as hell buzzing sound every time it opens. This buzzing echoes throughout the entire house. I didn't feel completely alone, as their cat is there with me to keep me company, even though 90% of the time he's roaming around the other half of the house, the area I can't be in. The only downside of being there is nighttime. I felt uncomfortable as the house seemed to groan at night. Since it's so big, it made it that much more creepy and unsettling. One evening, I was playing my games and eventually decided to turn in for the night. Around 5 a.m., I was awoken to the sound of the annoying buzzing from the front gate. I took a look out the window, but it's too dark to see anything other than the streetlights just out of range of the gate. I figured it's nothing as I don't see anyone or anything out there and returned to bed. Even if there was someone out there, I wasn't expecting anyone and didn't want to deal with any unwanted visitors. Days pass and everything is going well and running smoothly. The only thing that would startle me was when the cat would randomly haul ass from the other half of the house. I've now spent enough time here to get on a routine and feel somewhat comfortable sleeping there. I would soon be robbed from that comfort. One night, while I'm playing games, I start to hear what sounds like a car driving by. Now this is odd because they live on a private road and not just anyone can get in. It was also around 1 a.m. and I wasn't expecting anyone. I soon realize I seem to be only hearing this when my headphones are on. I shake it off as part of the game and decide to get some sleep. I don't know how much time passes, but I eventually wake up to what I believe is a group of people talking downstairs. I don't recognize any of the voices, and the owners aren't supposed to be back for over a week. I was too scared to go down and check, so I stayed in my room and tried to fall back asleep. Just as I began to doze off, I'm awakened by the gardener ringing the gate at 7 a.m. I no longer hear any voices and feel it's safe to go and let them in, but I'm still thoroughly creeped out about the noises I heard the night before. I didn't do much that day as I just couldn't concentrate and was incredibly tired. It also doesn't help that I started to become increasingly paranoid and any little sounds made me question everything. I had debated on texting my mom to come pick me up, but I decided against it. I told them I would watch their home, and that's what I was going to do. I didn't sleep at all that night. The following day around 2, I was so drained that I passed out on the couch in their massive living room. I woke up some time later in a pitch-black room. I had no clue of the time, and for a split second, I didn't know where I was. I begin to panic as I start to remember where I am and the weird events that have been taking place. I'm not one that's scared of the dark, but this house was getting under my skin, and I couldn't handle it. My heart practically out of my chest when suddenly I hear the buzzing sound from the gate, and it's extra loud. Or at least, it seemed like it was. Who knows? There was far too much going on in my head at that moment. I had no sense of time, but I felt it was pretty late. My phone wasn't in my pocket, and I figured it must have fallen out. I felt around me, but I wasn't about to start searching for it in fear of making too much noise. At this point, I'm completely frozen on the couch, buzzing, still echoing through the house, and I'm not about to get up to see who's at the gate. It felt really late, and again, I wasn't expecting anyone. I stayed there, petrified. It's completely silent now. Somehow, I fell back asleep. I'm thinking it was probably from the adrenaline rush I just had that took all my energy. The next time I opened my eyes, it was daylight. The room is filled with sunshine, and I can see a clock on the wall. It's about 4. I eventually located my phone and sent my mom a text asking her to come pick me up. Last night was just too intense for me, and I needed to get out of here. She got back to me fairly quick and told me no, that I only had a week left and to stick through it. I'm obviously not happy with the response, but she's right. I know I can stick this out, although I felt more uneasy than ever and my paranoia was through the roof. I began to look for something to do when curiosity got the best of me. I decided to just walk over to the other half of the home, just to see what was there. I only wanted to look at what I was forbidden to do. The second I stepped foot in the other part of the house, the buzzer rang. Oh, it's just the pool boy. But it spooks me enough to not try again. That night, I managed to fall asleep pretty quickly, but I am awakened by sirens and police cars outside of the house. I'm totally scared, confused, and decide to stay where I am, in the bed. Some moments pass and suddenly, a police officer opens my door. He has a concerned look on his face, doesn't say anything, and escorts me out of the house. Once we're outside, they begin asking me,
"So, when did you first see the man?"
"Man?" I say with a confused tone. What they told me next absolutely horrified me. They said someone had been living in the master bedroom for several weeks, and they would sneak out at night to go get food and other items. They said a distant neighbor kept seeing vehicles drive down the pathway at odd hours of the night to the house, but knew the owners were out of town. The house was searched from top to bottom, but no one was found. Although there were signs that a person had been living in the half of the home I wasn't allowed in. They eventually locate the man and arrest him. The owners were horrified and had no clue who the man was. My parents came and took me back home, and I never went over there again. I haven't seen or spoken to my friend in a while. We grew apart after this incident. This explains everything I was hearing. The gate buzzing at odd hours in the night, people talking and cars going by. It makes me sick to know there was a complete stranger living in the room on the other side of the house. I'm lucky he was just looking for a place to sleep and didn't have plans for me.